quite like pleasantly surprised there. Is she in falsetto? Is she not in falsetto? How did this come second? This is Kia ora and welcome. My name's ZoeStibi and I am your vocal coach for today. In today's vocal analysis, we're going to be taking a look at Yuval Raphael from Israel with New Day Will Rise. I'm very excited because a lot of my colleagues have been praising her vocals and saying that she's this fantastic singer. So I'm very, very, very excited to have a look at what she's up to with her vocal technique. Let's just get straight to it. I love it. She wrote the song.
And even if you say goodbye, you'll never go away. You are the rainbow in my sky, my colors in the gray, my only wish upon a star, sunshine in the day, the only song that my piano ever plays. And even if you say goodbye, you'll always...
Okay, there's so many different camera angles. I'm getting a little bit like overwhelmed. Right, I love, love, love. This is this really beautiful way to start a song. A lot of people might go like, oh, that's in your head voice, but it's actually not. That's a breathy chest voice sound. The vocal folds are opening, and that's what's causing that increase in the breath flow. You can see the microphone's very close to her mouth though, so she's got the very, very low volume.
And even if you say goodbye, you'll never go away. You are the rainbow in my sky, my colors in the gray, my only wish upon a star, sunshine in the day, the only song that my piano ever plays. And even if you say goodbye, you'll always be around to lift me up.
Okay, so you can really hear the nervousness coming in because we can hear the breaths. Could also be due to the fact that the microphone's turned up so high because she's also singing that quietly. So could be both, you know. But what we've got there is, it's a little bit hurried in the breath department for my liking, but we've got never dare to say goodbye. But what happens when you get a little bit nervous, your heart starts racing and you use more oxygen than you really would if you weren't that nervous, and therefore you have to breathe in more often, and so that's probably why it's getting a little bit hectic, because it doesn't really fit the acting of this, like the message of the song.
You say goodbye, you'll always be around to lift me up and take me high, keep my feet close to the ground. Are you proud of me tonight? Dreams are coming true. I choose the light, nothing to lose if I lose you. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay, even if you say goodbye. And then we'll see.
I was already debating about whether I wanted to have a look at Israel anyway, but she is a beautiful singer, and we're going to separate these two things out. Although people do believe that you can't do that with Eurovision, I'm going to do that in the world of my vocal studio and this beautiful singer's voice. So we've got this, when we're going into this chorus, you can start to hear a little bit of the vibrato coming in there. She thins out the vocal folds, and we go into more of, honestly, I would call this a head voice quality, because it's still quite thin. We don't have a lot of weight in the sound, and really it's about, I think it's about building the song. So I'm assuming she's going to belt at some point, because it's just a really beautiful way to grow the song. Let's just go back on that, because you can see this really lovely transition from the head voice into the chest voice.
Nothing to lose if I lose you. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cry.
So new day will rise. That's right on. I'm assuming there's always a sort of tipping point between the chest voice and the head voice where we want to and not go new day will rise, you know, because if you'd add too much weight, it's not going to be, my piano's not plugged in. You don't want to add too much weight, otherwise it's going to be new day will rise, and you end up with a yodel, which is what's not. New day will rise. rise. Okay, so that's actually quite low on the D4 there for her to already sort of be transitioning into the head voice, but you know, it's obviously just fits her voice.
Nothing to lose if I lose you. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay, even if you say goodbye.
Okay, you can hear there though that even if we say goodbye, she stayed in a thinner vocal fold quality, but she doesn't go, even if we say goodbye. And she hasn't kept that larynx in that higher position, because otherwise we would expect a slightly brighter sound. So, new day, and say goodbye. She's allowed the larynx to lower, which is really important when we're singing in more of this, I would call this slightly more classical sort of voice quality coming in there, because we're starting to, when we don't transition down into a thicker vocal fold quality or more into the chest voice, that's where we sort of like start to hear, there's a bit of classical thing. So if you've had classical training, or you're like, Zoe, I really want to sound like more poppy, I want to sound more rocky, and I want to get sort of like that grittier sound in the lower part of my range, then you really do need to check out my free singing lesson available in the description below, because I will take you over how to really get that thick vocal fold closure lower in your range so that you can gain more resonance without having to work for it.
If you say goodbye, et même si tu dis adieu, tu ne partiras jamais. T'es l'arc-en-ciel dans mon ciel bleu, mes couleurs dans le cri, aimant se souhaite sous un ciel d'art, un rayon de ma journée. La seule chanson comme un piano peut jouer. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness.
I like that. I was quite like pleasantly surprised. There you go. Obviously, I don't speak French, so she's just gone into territory I don't know. But anyway, let's just go back on that. So you notice though now that she's gone, I mean, she's obviously picked up in the second verse. We've got a little bit more volume going behind the sound, but just notice the difference now that we've experienced that, now that I didn't realize she's going to French. The difference in the tone, and it's also a lot to do with the mouth shape as well.
Partiras jamais, t'es l'arc-en-ciel dans mon ciel bleu, mes couleurs dans le cri, aimant se souhaite sous un ciel d'art, un rayon de ma journée. La seule chanson comme un piano peut jouer. New day.
So you can see that as well, with that kind of more closed mouth shape that she's got going on there, we do have a slight bit of back pressure going on. As I say, she has also got a little bit louder. So we, that means that we're just getting a little bit better vocal fold closure going on there. She's in quite a light chest voice actually in this point. She could go da 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 if she wanted to make it sort of like more dramatic, but we go, a new day will rise. I would be very curious if she's not classically trained, because this is a very, very typical classical sound that we've kind of just slapped on a pop song.
Se souhaite sous un ciel d'art, un rayon de ma journée. La seule chanson comme un piano peut jouer. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay, even if you say new day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by.
Okay, so she's actually up on that B flat 4 there. Fade, a new day will rise. Why are we getting such a breathy sound, Yuval? I'm very curious. I'm thinking the whole time, is she in falsetto? Is she not in falsetto? Oh, the tick of a singing teacher. So we've got this, the reason why I'm thinking, she goes, a new day will rise. I'm not sure that she's taking her larynx down with that pitch. Let's just go back on that.
If you say new day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by.
Okay, I mean, this is... It's a ballad, yeah. Most singers love to sing ballads, and I'm a bit ballad tired. It's an okay song. How the fuck did this come second in Eurovision? Like, sorry, I'm a little bit annoyed now. How did this come second? This is...
Son comme un piano peut jouer. New day will rise, life will go on. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade.
You can hear that. Darkness will fade. We've still got... This is where a lot of singers really, really get tripped up, because this is why I'm saying I'm fairly certain she's classically trained, because we've got too thin of a vocal. Darkness will fade. Da, 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 da. We're sort of not really getting that meaty voice quality that we're really after. I'm not warmed up. Darkness will fade. We sort of need a little bit more of that twang to go on in order to allow the vocal folds to kind of close better. And we just honestly need a thicker vocal fold contact to make this a more resonant sound. This is still sounding a little bit too breathy for me for this part of the song.
All the pain will go by, but we won't stay. Even if you say, new day will rise, life will go on.
A new day will rise. Okay, so we're up on the D5 there. The reason why I think that sounded fuller is also because new day will rise. Just great vowels in order for us to get that sound. Closed vowels up there. Usually very difficult to sing, but that a new day will rise just sort of like sits in the pocket, which is really lovely. And a new is always nice to sing up there.
Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but you will stay, the love of my life. מים רבים לא יכבו את האהבה.
I don't really think we need to go into 3 languages in a song. But we've got that, she's got again this vibrato, quite strong vibrato going on there. And the vocal folds are actually just only because I feel like the larynx is a little bit too low for the sound that she's trying to create. Now, this does sound like I'm really shitting on Vowel here, but I'm not. I'm just saying that I know a lot of singers come in with this exact issue, and they don't allow the larynx to rise with the pitch, but also to rise with the vocal quality that we're after. This is really what happens when we lower the larynx, and we can sometimes force the vocal folds open when we do that. It's nice to create a dark sound, but it does end up doing that when you're trying to really beef up the sound.
את האהבה ונהרות לא ישטפו. New day will rise. Everyone cries, don't cry alone. Darkness will fade, all the pain will go by, but we will stay. Even if you say goodbye, a new day will rise.
Okay, I know she's at the end, sorry. But she's got new day will rise. And you've got hearing like a little bit of crackle coming in there. Honestly, these weeks, like leading up to the grand final, it was the grand final. Like, it's crazy, crazy, crazy how much they have to sing, how many interviews they're doing. It's so vocally draining. So, and like this costs a fortune for them to go to Eurovision. So, of course, usually artists feel like they have to kind of like give more than they really probably can in that moment. So I feel like it's a little bit of vocal tiredness, but we go, a new day will rise. Not something that I'm very good at doing in that part of my range, but we've got a little bit of slack vocal fold coming in, which is which is really lovely, because it kind of brings us back down again.
But we will stay.
I wanted to go back to that big belty, but oh, it's not belt.
New day will rise. Everyone cries, don't cry.
So we're only new day will rise. nice lower larynx position, still in quite a thin position, thin vocal fold there. And the only reason why we're getting a sort of a feeling or like a hint that it's a little bit louder is because of the vowel. Is the tongue position being quite high in the mouth is going to help assist with us getting that sound. If you want to learn more about how you can make the tongue really work for you. What on earth? Builders working next door. Sorry for this interruption. So if you're wanting to, I'm just going to speak over it. If you're wanting to get more out of your sound, then I really want you to think about raising that tongue into more of that position. But I got a free lesson for you down in the description below. It's honestly, it will change your singing life.
Even if you say goodbye, a new day will rise. New day will rise. Thank you, Europe!
I honestly everything aside in terms of like politics, it just wasn't the best song that I've seen. But like, who the fuck am I? Like, I am not the Eurovision judges, unfortunately, because otherwise Bala wouldn't have gotten through for Germany because that song is awful. Oh my God. Anyway. Okay, it was okay. It was beautifully sung, really, really lovely the way. And honestly, these artists, they work so hard to get where they are, and you can just see that joy in her. You can just see that joy in her face that she reached the end of the song and it all went well and the audience loved it. So, you know, I think it's just really, really beautiful to see that, and well done, Vowel, because that was, you know, it was a lovely performance. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you around here more often. You can check out some more Eurovision up here. And if you want to learn to sing like Vowel is doing and really getting into a thin vocal fold closure, but you don't necessarily want to be, but if you would like to learn how to sing like Vowel is doing, or if you're wanting to create more of a belty sound, but if you're wanting to learn to sing and you want to be able to do some of these techniques that I'm talking about in this video today, then check out the link in the description below, because you can join my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, where we are currently accepting one-to-one students for classes. You get 2 masterclasses a month, you get 1 group training, and you get 2 one-to-one singing lessons in the Vocal Academy. Spaces are very, very limited, so you can book in for a discovery call to discuss your vocal goals down in the description below. Have an awesome rest of the day and happy singing. Mwah!